Hey guys, we're back with more of the Banished Knight's Halberd. We're gonna go do the Abductor Virgin duo, and then we got a couple other bosses we're gonna do in Altus, and then we'll nearly finish up Caelid before heading back to Liurnia. But we should be able to get a good chunk done in this next hour. I think we'll get back to Altus. Yeah, we should be able to get back to Altus. There's not much left in Liurnia. At least for this part. There's more we'll do later, but maybe like a 7 or so left in Liurnia, a couple in Caelid, and then a few here. See what we can do. Been a pretty smooth run so far, though. No real hiccups. Always nice when runs do that. Especially coming off of Vare's Bouquet, that was a little more challenging. I'm kind of glad, though, that it was more challenging. Because most Elden Ring runs aren't, honestly. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it is nice to have something that kind of is a little abnormal. The reality is a lot of the Elden Ring weapons are just really good. Or at least, like, not dreadful. Which makes for pretty easy runs. That and a pretty generous new game plus, so. It's a combination for ease, I guess. This boss kind of sucks. Wow, but does it ever stop? That's bad. A little too greedy with the R1s. That missed. Oh yeah, no, I don't want this grace yet. Or at all, actually. Forgot I changed how I do this part. So I don't need this, I just need the Wyndham Catacombs grace. I knew I changed something, I couldn't remember what it was though. So when we come back to Gelmir, we're gonna teleport here instead of down there. Can I level? I don't know if I can level. Perfect. Because we're going to be dying, once we get this lever. Or warping out. Either way, we're losing these runes, so. So yeah, we got this, we got the Tibia Mariner, and then Demi-Human Queen, Godefroy, and then 2 more bosses, and then we're going to go back to Caelid. We'll be there for a bit. Well, like 3 bosses, so really not a bit. Tiny bit. And then back in Liurnia for a while. If I had to guess, we're probably like 60 bosses through. Maybe a little more than that. What the hell? Brother, come on. Last cat boss. Is this the 5th one? I think it's the 5th one you fight. One of which is a duo, and one of which also has like 4 imps in it. But I think there's 5 total. Oof, big damage. Now we fight a dead man on a boat. Stop summoning these things. I like how he just kills all of his summons. Oh my god. Well, it's the hardest Tibia Mariner we're gonna fight. The one of the mountaintops is definitely worse, but for some reason that one is not a boss. I don't know why. I can guess, but it's probably because it's like it's supposed to be hidden, right? You go to that little graveyard or whatever, and there's like 5 of those giant skeletons, and you're just supposed to be like, where the hell are they coming from? Meanwhile, there's just a Tibia Mariner chilling on like the side of a cliff that I don't think they want you to know about because it's supposed to be like a secret. I'm guessing that's why they don't make that one a boss. Hello? I'm literally matching L3. Like, get off the torrent. Sometimes it's just, like, not responsive at all. Good fight. I don't know if I want this now. I mean, it's just strength, right? It would definitely not be good for damage, but I don't think it's gonna make it much worse. I feel like I usually have something else on here too. I don't know what though. Blue Dancer Charm, maybe? Well, I'm not gonna wear that with this, though. It's not gonna do anything. Reinhardt should be pretty easy with this too. With bleed. I rolled a so we just started another weapon on stream, and I rolled a fire infusion, and it's a weapon with no innate bleed, so that's one Reinhardt fight I'm not looking forward to. And it's not a good weapon, so it's not even like without fire it would be like okay. It's not the worst. I don't think much is gonna be worse than the, at least from what I've done so far, I don't think much is going to be worse than the Celebrant Sickle with Flame Art. Fire is actually not as bad as Flame Art. Flame Art has more fire damage than fire does. I was trying to squeak an extra hit in there, but it never works like cleanly. Oh, I went to the round. Did I go to the round table? I went to the round table. Oops. Somehow I ended up hitting square there. Gotta have it. Oh my, and we gotta do this clown. Everything is awful. Guard counter. Yeah, just get me out. I meant to go back here. In fact, the reason I go back here is so I can teleport out of the Evergaol quickly. Because there's no real need to do this part now. But I feel like it's easier to just teleport back to this grace than it is to teleport to Caelid before the timer kicks you out of the Evergaol. So then I just do this, and then the Shaded Castle, then we go back to Caelid. Except I just accidentally went to the round table. It's alright, though. I don't think the horse guy can go in here. I'll never forget the Sonaf run where I was able to hit the barrels to blow this guy up, plus like the fire attack from the Sword of Night and Flame. Like, it was just the perfect combination and in one-shot him, and I've never been able to do with anything else. The Sonaf was pretty strong. And this was like after they nerfed it, but after they buffed it again. So it wasn't completely destroyed, but it wasn't, you know, what it was at the launch of the game. But Sonaf, the Sonaf fire plus the barrels just one-shot him. The problem is, like, if you use a melee weapon that has fire on it, you will blow yourself up. You'll do a lot of damage to him, but you'll probably kill yourself and it won't be worth it, obviously. Oh yeah, I mentioned last time, I think it was, like, I didn't know why I had done Radahn. Was it last time, or was it, I don't know, one of these times. I forgot why I did Radahn, and then I remembered, like, after I was done recording, because I needed the bleed thing. I needed the occult wet blade. Whatever it's called. Basically, anytime I roll bleed, poison, occult, or, like, flame art and fire, I'm gonna be doing Radahn. Other than that, probably Renala. Although if I need heavy or keen or quality, like, I don't know. You could kind of go to either one. But if you need magic or cold, you gotta go... It probably makes more sense to go Renala, because you're already gonna be, like, past Red Wolf. And then the Lane-Del one, I guess it doesn't really matter. It probably depends on your upgrade path, too. I'll do Vigor. Like, if you need smithing stones, I think it makes sense to go to Ray Lucaria, because you gotta get, like, a bunch of 2s and 3s. But if you need somber weapons, you can make a case for Radahn. I don't really know if it matters for somber weapons, but I don't know. I swear, Elemer has like one attack that the other Beldering hunters don't know. Couldn't tell you what it is. But like, there's one attack that I see sometimes in this fight that I never see on any of the other Beldering hunters. But we're probably not going to see it here. It's just like some weird combo, I think. Damn, I was hoping I could get that off. So are we going here? Perfect. Please don't die. Thank you. For, like, pretty much this entire run so far, I've been going without, like, the boss list. So I'm hoping I'm not missing anything. At this point, I feel like I have the rundown. Like, it depends on the route through New Game Plus, which, like, for a run where I'm not power stancing, it's going to be, like, the same every time. It really only changes if I have to get a second weapon that's, like, kind of late. Or not even late, but, like, not, like, near the start, I guess. And I think for, like, a while, we've been doing... Like, we had Vari's Bouquet, which was... not power stance. This has not been power stance. Malekith's Blackblade was not power stanced. I don't remember the Halo Scythe. I only used one, so I haven't power stanced anything in a while. So like the routes have pretty much been the same for like the last 4 runs. The one on stream I'm working on, that one's gonna be power stance though. And that weapon's in Lindell, so that route will be interesting. At least to a point, and then it'll kind of just turn into the same thing. Unless you have like a weapon in Farum Azul or something, most of the route's going to be the same. But it is nice getting to change it up every now and then. I mean, I could, in theory, do whatever I wanted. Like, I could do a route that makes literally no sense. I've thought about doing that, actually. I think something that would be fun is just doing, like, a completely random boss order. Like, out of all the available bosses, you just pick a random boss and you have to go towards it. Doesn't matter what your build is. So, like, you could start and you'd have to go, like, to Radahn or something. Like, as your first boss. Not even Grafted Zion. But the problem with that is it would take forever. Because you'd be doing so much running around. But, like, having to go to Rite first, which actually I don't think you can even do. You have to do Noble. It'd be, like, super inefficient. And it would just probably be twice as long as a normal run. But it'd be kind of fun, I think.
Welcome. The stars have aligned. The festival is the festival.
Maybe I'll do it on like every like 10th run or something. I don't know. Like, there's only so many places you could go. There's obviously more in Elden Ring. Not even just for Elden Ring, but like for all the games, you know? Yo, I'm stuck. Thank you. Thank you, Radahn. Oops, a little early. Surprised he hasn't gone up yet. Ah, damn, I was so close. I needed one more bleed. I just thought about something. I don't know how practical it would be, but like, what if I just like booked it to Wardead and made Radahn come to Wardead? I don't really know if it matters, honestly. Probably wouldn't be any faster. I just hate this weird transition where like the cutscene happens and then you're just not on Torrent anymore. And I was thinking, like, what if I'm already at the door and I don't need to get back on Torrent? But honestly, trying to, like, you kill him faster than it would take to get to the store, so probably better just do it the way I've been doing it. So yeah, we'll do this dungeon, and then all that's left in Caelid is the Misbegotten Crucible Light Duo, for, save that for later. So I did test, and it is after you burn the tree at Fire Giant. That's when Jaren goes away. So doing that fight after that point is just faster, because you don't need to talk to Jaren again. Either that, or you do it, like, early, before you even hit Altus. Before triggering the festival. Which, just the way it works out, I never do it that way. I guess I could do it that way, though. I don't know why I don't. I don't remember if I used to do it that way. No, I don't think I did. I don't know why I do it the way I do it. I think because then you don't have to really run through anything. Oh, yeah, no, I know why. It's because I, like... Before or after the festival, like, you can warp into Redmane, but you can't do it before then. So it's faster to do it this way. Is it here? Or is it the next one? I think it's the next one. I always forget. Now we're back to Liurnia after this. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 bosses, I think. Man, it'd be amazing to land a hit. There we go. Ah. Here. Had to think about it. Alright, Deathrite Bird. And the Royal Revenant. And then Loretta, then we gotta do Ronnie's quest. It's nighttime? Perfect. This feels way too high. Oh my god. Drop scares me every time. I never know where this thing lands. I wonder if it changes based on where you are. Okay, we might get lucky here. We might not get the massive AoE. If you stagger the Deathrite Bird around like half health, sometimes you just don't get it. Never mind. I think next time we'll be like about halfway through all bosses. I'm just trying to think because I know the Crucible Knight too is like the halfway point on the standard route. Not halfway. I'm sorry, that's not halfway at all. That's like 100. That's over halfway. Halfway's probably a little bit into Altus, maybe. Like, I don't think we're halfway yet, but we're probably approaching it. Because Caelid's got 26 bosses, Living Grave is 32, and we're done with all but one of those two places. That's 50, plus we're done with a good chunk of Liurnia. Another, like, 15 bosses or so in there, if I had to guess. Damn. That was a good part of the attack and it missed. Yeah, the Crucible Knight is the 100 boss mark. Let's not go that way. Actually, you can go this way. I think I just jumped off the wrong spot. There we go. I'll have to look and see what the halfway mark is, though. But, like, even at the halfway mark, you know, because you've done the easier half, or a lot of the easier half, you're not really halfway. at least time-wise. So I think we have 5 more bosses in Liurnia until we're back in Altus. So we should be able to get back there. We'll do a dungeon there. I'm just looking at stone sword keys. Definitely need more. And we gotta do Ronnie's quest. I love doing Ronnie's quest. Nothing I'd rather do than just talk to NPCs for like 3 minutes. Honestly though, in a run this long, it's not really surprising that there's NPCs you gotta talk to do certain things. Like you got Fia, you got Ronnie's quest, you gotta go get the Curse Mark of Death, which takes forever. You don't kill anything on the way there, really. It's a little surprising that that noble on the bridge isn't a boss. I hate trying to hit these guys with the Halberd. When they get staggered, like the first hit of the Halberd always like knocks them back, so sometimes you might miss with the second one. Unless they're against a wall. In which case, it's easy. Alright, Onyx Lord. I love finding the Tree Sentinel duo, though. I don't know if we'll get to it now, or like in the next 20 minutes, but like that's a fun fight. Well, fun. It's challenging, and it's like one of the few challenging bosses up to that point. Like you have the Dragon Barrow and the Tree Sentinel duo, and that's kind of it. At least until like the mountaintops. Maybe Lance Axe. Say Lance Axe is challenging-ish. Probably more challenging than most bosses, anyway. Lance Axe just has a lot going on. Mainly because of the terrain, but, you know. How did that miss? The first hit hit him, and then the second one just didn't. I do not understand how. Actually, the what's the one we just fought? The Putrid Tree Spirit. That one's tough too. But like that's kind of it. There's some other ones like Electo. The Moonlight Altar bosses are tougher. Go aggro, huh? Doesn't even care. That's like the second time I've noticed, like since wearing this helmet, dragons haven't really aggroed to me. I don't know if it's the helmet or if it's just like pure chance. Because Smaragd, I think, did, but I don't really remember. I guess we'll have to see with Borealis, but I feel like Borealis will be different. Borealis just kind of like appears when you get close to him, or like when you get onto that lake.
Thou must have, though I have no intriguing. Wilt thou? I am the that I might well. I thou art, but I require and 'tis good. Art thou it left to go there to? Like thee, heed not. I'm sure.
Like thee, heed not. That's right. I don't heed anything. I just do.
I don't know what since I asked. I reside in...
Oh, you've a grand pleasure, Vicarian.
Right. Where are we going? We're going to... I think here. Ray of Vicaria. Crystal Tunnel. Then Knight's Cavalry, and then Magma Worm. And then we're done with Liurnia, for now. And it's nighttime. The Guidance of Grace. One of those things that does not matter after your first playthrough. Or like, you know, once you kind of know where you're going. I think there's a lot of things in Elden Ring like that. Probably more so in this game than the others. Because it's more open, they wanted to direct you better than in the other Souls games. Like the Mimic Graces that just kind of lead you to a random point. I just thought that was interesting. You'd be in the middle of nowhere and you just put it down and it's like, hey, go this way. And this way could lead you to like a giant rock or something. And you can't get past. But you have no idea. It's just leading you to a random point. Yeah, what the... It's late night? Okay, so we're gonna have to make it night again. We'll do that when we get back to... or, like, out of here. I can't remember if you can see the boss from up here. Because you can see, like, all the way down to the arena from certain points, but... I don't know if you can actually see the boss. Can't tell. I don't see the Crystallian. Wait. Yeah, there he is. Right there. You can see the ring. He's just chilling. Just waiting for someone to go through this random golden fog wall. That's how I imagine, like, most of the bosses in this game, or any of these games, really. They're just sitting there, waiting. Some very patient creatures. Because they don't know when something's going to come through. Damn, that range. And the fight's over. Okay, maybe if I actually could hit him, it would be over faster. Right, his gut. Rock hard gut. Guts? I'm kind of surprised there isn't a boss up on the, like, near the Frenzied Flame Tower. I know you have Vike, but it's just, that doesn't count. He's just an invader. Oof. Right in the crotch. Maybe he should add a cod piece too. Need better armor, my friend. Yeah, I think like the Knights Cavalry runs, plus the Loretta run, and then what's the other one? Tree Sentinels. Actually, 2 Tree Sentinel runs. I think those will be kind of interesting because I've said it before. I don't know where, but I'm gonna try and do like every fight on Torrent. That like every fight that's possible on Torrent, I'm gonna try and do on Torrent. So I gotta do like a whole new moveset. Can't do any L2s. Well, you can. It's just different. It's not like the Ash of War. I mean, it's still gonna be a lot of bosses that aren't on Torrent, but I think it'll just be a nice change of pace. Actually having to do horse combat for once. Although I think the Knights Cavalries will be really annoying. I think they'll all be really annoying. Actually, Loretta... Never mind. Loretta you can't do on a horse. But like, we'll have to do Radahn on a horse. Every dragon, pretty much, except for Placidusax and Fortisax, will be on a horse. A lot of them. I wonder how many bosses you actually can fight on a horse. Like, I never really counted or anything. Dragonkin Soldier in Shifra. Which honestly might not be too bad. But, like, there's probably a decent amount. Not half. Maybe like a quarter. Maybe a little less than that. I don't know. Couple of the magma worms. I think I actually did Theodorix on a horse for, I don't remember what run it was. Maybe the Halo Scythe? And that wasn't too bad. But you're just very vulnerable if you fall on, oh crap. If you fall off of Torrent, you just can't do anything. That, and then needing flasks for Torrent. Somehow I forgot where to go here. So we got the magma worm, then we got the unsightly catacombs. And that might be all we have time for. I don't know. I mean, we're almost at the magma worm. Okay, really? I hate this part, man. It's so annoying too when you don't have a weapon that can swing up. Okay, I get it. Stop! Just poison me and be done with it, okay? Thank you. This part is so annoying. Sometimes it's like, it's just awful to get through. Most of the time I think it's fine, but sometimes you just get hit once on the ladder and you fall off, and then you're stuck, surrounded by these bats. Almost 7 hours. Definitely won't be the fastest run, but it'll be, like, fine. It'll be totally fine. I think some of the runs, like the Uchi run, I think was the fastest one. That one's going to be tough to top. Death's Poker is pretty solid, too. Uchi, I have the benefit of having cold and bleed on an already strong weapon. But like having bleed on a weapon is just all automatically going to be faster because of Rite. Like no bleed or frost means a much slower Rite kill. And that could add like 10 minutes to the kill, basically. Like doing Rite with a Magma Worm Scale Sword. That's one I'll probably power stance. There's no enemy to mimic or anything with it. Like, yeah, the Magma Worm has one, but it's not like I can mimic a Magma Worm. Alright, we'll level up here. Let's see. 3 levels. Damn. It's never like that many. I can't remember when I was planning on taking Strength or Dex 2 for this character, because I planned it so long ago. But I feel like we just get more damage and then we win. I'm not going to touch Arcane. I don't think it's really going to help at all. Well, I mean, it will technically help, but it's just probably not worth it. Look at that mitt. In the right hand. I guess Banished Knights are lefties. Because how can you do it? You can't do anything with that hand. Maybe the Tarnished is a lefty. Guess we don't really know. Well, I don't know. You can do more with your right hand than you can with your left hand in this game. Nice lever pull. Good fight. This is the real boss. What a fight. And it's nighttime, perfect. It's so nice when it works out to being night when you're going to a Knight's Cavalry. Like not having to worry about changing the time of day is so sweet. But if it's late night, it's too late. I wish I could just make all the Knight's Cavalries like guaranteed to be fought at night, or like route it so it's always night when I fight them. But you also rely in that case on like not dying, because it's gonna change the time of day. Plus, depending on how long some fights are, you know, that could make things a little trickier as well. Oops. Oh, I was trying to hit the horse. Falling Star Beast shouldn't be too bad. The only downside is it won't bleed. That's one hit, huh? It was a headshot, that's why. 703. Yeah, this game's just solid. Why is it so good? Also, how does this thing float in the air for so long? It's defying physics. What? I was actually going to end this before the Knight's Cavalry, but I think we'll go up to the Tree Sentinel. So we'll do this boss here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get another flask after... Yeah, probably not. I think I need one more golden seed. I forgot the one near the Knight's Cavalry, which kind of is a bummer. Because I could grab that one, and then I could grab the two near the Grace after the Tree Sentinel duo. Oh, dude, what? I'll probably reallocate for the Tree Sentinel duo. The Tree Sentinel duo fights are actually, like, super tough. You fight them both at the same time. If you fight them one-on-one, it's not bad. This is not ideal. Omen Killers could not be more disinterested, less interested. It's so hard to repose these flowers unless you're like right in its face when it goes down, because they don't stay down for very long. They're like staggered for like a second and a half, and then they're up. It's interesting to me too that this is like two different bosses. I wonder if that's just because of the open world. Like if this was a dungeon, it'd be one boss, kind of like Valiant Gargoyles or any dungeon duo boss, pretty much. Because the Knight's Cavalry is the same way. I'm like trying to think of an open world duo boss that is like just one boss and not seen as two. Which doesn't matter for the purpose of the game, but for randomizers, it's like a pretty important thing. 63, 64 dex it is. Alright, I'm going to call this one here, and the next time we'll pick up with the Tree Sentinel duo across the way. Thanks for watching, guys.